everyone. Welcome back to Precious Charlotte, and I'm Precious.
I'm Charlotte.
And this is Precious Charlotte, as I have said, and I sound so nervous. In case this is working out weirdly, this is a new intro thing that we're trying, and I hope it works. We have a very, it's not that interesting, but it's an interesting topic. I don't know if you want to.
So what we want to talk about today is our first therapy session. So each of our first sessions with a psychologist, but it all just comes in together with, the whole idea of talking when you're going through stuff. This is part of the mental health series. So we're picking up perhaps a tool that, people like saying, talk about your problems, don't sit with them. So we're going to talk about talking about your problems, and as far as talking to a professional about whatever it is that you're going through or seeing the symptoms of or worried about, or
I don't know if before I forget, please subscribe if you haven't. Below there, like the video, share. There's also previous videos. If you want to catch up, you could just go back to those and watch those. And we're gonna get on with the topic for the day or the week, the weekend, the week. Anyways, so I don't know. I've only had one session. It makes sense that you've had your first session is the one session. Yeah, but it was interesting. First of all, it was in a public hospital in Tembisa, where I come from. So I was expecting a lot of weirdness in a sense. I don't know if that, I feel like that was me being judgmental, but I kind of expected the facilities to not be adequate, because in townships and in our communities. Nah. But in townships, these things are not looked at. They're looked at with a very weird eye. Like mental health issues and mental health conditions are hardly underlooked and labeled negatively. So my mindset when I was going, I was expecting like a very troubling, problematic space, and I went there, and all to my surprise, it was like it's a hospital, and then you walk further and there's like a small cabin thing, and it's built out of wood, and there was like people that are working in, like professionals that work in that field. There was like a speech therapist, but I think there was one each, and it looks like, I want to say it was underfunded, but it looked like people that worked there enjoyed what they were doing. So it was quite cool. I don't know if I can go into the background of why I wanted to see one, because it's kind of like a long story. But long story short, I had an addiction problem. I don't want to say it's an addiction, but it was like I'll just say addiction to cut it short. It messed up with a lot of my internals, so I had to go see a psychologist to find out, maybe not to find out, but to get perspective. Because for a long time I've never wanted to see a psychologist. I just thought I could solve my own problems, of which I am capable, but sometimes we need different perspectives, and a different perspective can help you go a long way. So I went, and it was a warm space. It was a welcoming space. She allowed me to talk. Gave me a platform to express myself, and there was no and she was assuring and validating, like in times where she thought I was like holding back because I sense judgment coming, she would like not directly assure me that just, you can talk to me type of thing. But it was a thing that she would use scenarios to be like, these things happen, so is this a thing? And then I'd be like, okay, no, maybe not that directly, but this is what happened type of thing. And I wish I could have seen her more. And yeah, so that was my first and only time where I've been to a psychologist.
I think you said a lot of things and I wanted to jump in so many times because they're very important things. One is that there's a lot of judgment with mental health issues, and I think when you get to a point where it's important for you to see a professional, you need to begin with letting go of that judgment of yourself. First things first, because you judge how tense your condition is, because you'd probably just be like, it's not that deep. There's people with schizophrenia, there's people with, and I feel like the more intense it gets, the more like help you're going to end up requiring, because you may skip the whole therapy session and go straight into having, to go into psychiatric ward, or, if things are not handled soon enough. So we need to let go of those judgments of ourselves first. People are going to say things like, I know when you go to a mental health facility and you're from the township, you're immediately assumed crazy or soyahlani. Do you get what I'm saying? So that judgment of ourselves, especially as Black people coming from previously disadvantaged areas, or still disadvantaged, but areas, those judgments of ourselves need to be let go. The first time, I've had 3 first times.
What?
Primarily because I've seen 3 different psychologists. There was a common theme in all of them. I think what you should expect when you first go to, I was scared the very, very, very first time. But with the first session, it typically is like it's similar to like a triage when you're going to like casualty in a hospital, because they do like background checks, they find out about your family, yourself, so you wouldn't expect to reveal your entire life story the very first time. They typically do ask you though why you came there, which I found to be a very odd question, but perhaps it allows but I guess it, unlike I feel like if you go to the doctor and you're like, I have the flu, you do tell the doctor that I have the flu. So you should expect to like give them an idea of what you're there for. I had a different experience. Like, everything was quiet. Student wellness is amazing.
Later, these people will feel like, but we'll get into this.
Also that's the thing. But I felt like student wellness was amazing. The only thing is perhaps the understaffing, where you wouldn't have, be able to get an appointment as soon as you need it. That's why I went private. And with all of the facilities that I've visited, they really do respect professionalism and confidentiality, and they assure you of that the very moment that you go in there. There isn't like an element of forcing you to talk, and they always make you aware, or like they assure you that it's okay to talk about things. And I think that's another important thing, that when you get to a point where you need to see, or you feel like you need that element of therapy, you need to come to terms with the fact that you're going to start having to open up a bit more than usual, because talking is hard, talking is difficult. It's difficult to reach out to a friend and be like, yo, I'm in a mess, and that I'm in a mess thing, it typically ends there, because you're like, life is a mess,
I'm going.
But it's deeper than that. You're actually experiencing something that is very difficult for you, and it's hard to reveal things to people that are close to you. So I initially was against talking to a stranger about my problems, because I was like, how the hell is anyone from somewhere in the world that I've never met before going to relate to something that I'm experiencing in my life? And it's my life, it's my story, it's my position, and they don't understand. But we come to terms. I've had to come to terms with the fact that these are professionals that have been trained because of their experience and whatsoever. They will be able to assist me in one way or another. It's possible that you go to a psychologist, a social worker, a therapist, or whatever, and you don't relate with them, or you find that your energies don't connect. It is possible, and I feel like I've had that with one of my 3 psychologists, and that's why I've been. But it's possible to just not relate or feel like you're being related to. So yeah, my first time experience was that. It's a comfortable room. I don't know, perhaps the setting. For me, it's always been a room or like a lounge area, and you sit there on your own, and then across you, the professionals are to sit there.
Yeah.
The rooms are typically very calming, and there's not much happening. Sometimes you'll find that they have like an aesthetic. They'll have like nice frames. They'll have nice and quiet, and it's a very welcoming space. It's outside of anything that you're used to, like a study room or like your own bedroom or your friend's bedroom or whatever.
Those are like our first experiences, and I guess to build up from this video, I think in the next video we'll get deep, because now we're just sharing our experiences, and I think from there we could build up opinions. I don't think I'm as qualified to have an opinion on these things, but I think I do have something to say that might add value to someone or to some topic. So I think the next part or the second part to build up on the video will just be like our opinions, general opinions. Like, I don't think they'll have to have direction.
So we'll see in part 2.
Cool. I hope that's not copyrighted.
Yeah.
Because
it's a mess.
Gondi